Caring for our elders is a physical and emotional challenge, and joining us now is Tinky Weisblat. She's the author of Pulling Taffy, and she has tips on how to beat caregiver stress. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure, Seth.
It's such an important topic because this is so stressful for people so often.
It absolutely is. And you know, what's her name, who was married to Jimmy Carter, Rosalind, said that everybody either is a caregiver, has been a caregiver, will be a caregiver, or will need a caregiver. So this is pretty much a universal experience.
That's why it's so important that we get these tips out to everyone. The first one, though, it's funny. It's balancing the long-term planning with unpredictability.
Exactly. That's the way life is, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, you want to be prepared to some extent for things that might come down the line if you're caring for someone who's ill. So you want to look into what might I do if this happens? What might I do if this happens? So you want to have sort of backup plans, but you also want to just live in the moment, be prepared to do something at a moment's notice that you weren't expecting to, and not worry about those things. I like the long-term planning because it does give you a little backbone when you're thinking about the future, but then you can just let go of it.
It's like a hybrid of chess and ping pong. You need to think moves ahead like a chess player, but be willing to react to whatever's coming back at you.
Exactly, exactly.
Next step, speaking of things like ping pong and chess, it's to be creative. You and your loved one need to get out and think and dream and do things.
Absolutely. Even if, in my case, what my book is about is taking care of my mother who had dementia. So there were a lot of things she obviously couldn't do. So you obviously tailor it to the person you have, or if it's someone with a physical disability, you're going to be a little careful about, you know, you don't want to say, let's hike up a mountain.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you want to engage with the world as much as possible. And I love creative things, writing, singing. Singing was great with my mother because it's something that dementia patients still hold on to. Music is really, and it's also a good thing for people as a whole, I think.
Nothing brings a smile to someone's face more than singing.
Exactly. So art, puzzles, whatever you can do to keep everybody busy and everybody happy.
Now, this next step's going to keep you a little busy. You have to educate yourself on your loved one's condition.
And we're lucky that we live in the internet age. So even if you are home taking care of someone, you can often get information. Thank God for libraries also. Or if you're miles and miles and miles away from the person you're taking care of, and a lot of people are long distance caregivers, you can find out about the disease you're dealing with. You can reach out to other people. So many groups, in my case, the Alzheimer's groups has support groups. I had a blog and you wouldn't believe how many people left comments. It's just amazing how much the information and how much support there is for you if you can find it. And it's nice to have that information. Again, it helps you know what you're going to expect.
Well, I think so often, too, people think that they're alone, but you're right. You go out, family, friends, but the internet's an amazing treasure trove of people who have similar, scenarios. Your next tip is if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's like your mother used to say, count to 100.
Exactly. Stop. Don't engage. Relax. And yeah, and one of the things about all of these tips is that they're basically common sense, and they are the things our mothers and grandmothers taught us to do when we were little. But when you're under stress, and caregiving is a wonderful experience, but it is a stressful experience, you may not have common sense. So you have to stop, count to 10. If 10 doesn't work, keep counting.
Count until you feel okay.
Exactly. And either the problem will go away, in some cases they do go away, which is a wonderful thing, or it won't seem so scary. You know, you'll be able to deal with it if you just relax and say, I don't have to deal with this at this exact moment. I can wait a little while and see what happens.
And Tinky, all too often people get wrapped up in feeling so guilty for what they've done, but you have to remember, you're helping. No matter what, you can't feel guilty because you're helping.
And I always say, if you're acting out of love and doing the best you can, and the person you're taking care of is doing the best they can, and they always are, you know, then yes, guilt is not a constructive emotion. You just say, I'm doing what I can, and feel good about what you're doing.
And you need to take care of yourself too, so both you and the person whom you're looking out for need to exercise a lot.
Absolutely, as much as you can. Sometimes it's hard. In my case, you know, I was home with my mother most of the time, so I got a Wii. And I do the We Fit, still do it every day. You wouldn't know it to look at me, but I'm
you look like $1 million.
Thank you, Seth. But I am actually, for my size and everything, quite fit.
I believe it.
And I'd had her do, even if it's, when people get very sick, we don't want to get too down, but you move their muscles for them. You just keep things going as long as you can so that everyone can deal with things physically as well as mentally.
Anything is better than nothing.
Absolutely.
And lastly, always keep smiling, always laugh, always enjoy yourself.
Humor is our gift from God or whoever, the creator of the universe. Humor is what we always need in life, and if you lose it, then you are going to give into stress. So yeah, I laugh, joke, even if you don't think it's funny, find something funny about it. If you laugh, suddenly you feel better.
Well, Tinky, thank you so much for joining us today.
Totally,
it was a
my
pleasure
Seth.
chatting with you. And for more information, you can visit our website at mymassappeal.com later today.